Take two. So today we are going to continue our experiment on those watercolor markers that my titi gave my dad and he let me use. Actually, at the behest of said titi, she suggested we draw some aliens with it because there's a bunch of green, which I think is a great idea. So I'm going to use that idea of the little green aliens and try to use the water brushes that we got with them to see if that kind of helps them work more like watercolor, to see if they blend, to see if they blend. I guess that's it. So we're going to swatch again, but this time with water to see how it dilutes. And then from there, we're going to draw the aliens and color them in, all that stuff. So let's get to swatching. Just as before, we're gonna use this paper. My dad will hand me the markers. And then once we're done with putting them all down, then we're gonna use the water. Because if they can't last just a couple seconds drying on here, then there's just no point. So we're gonna do that. Let's do it. Okay, we got the water pen all filled up and the sock to use as a sponge and clean the brushes when we're done with them. Also have a cup of water just in case. So let's start with the pink. That is not promising. Let's go with the red. Not really. But we're still gonna try. We're gonna do all of them nonetheless. Yellow. Or orange, I suppose. It's like a little bit, I guess. Brown should definitely show. If it's gonna work, it should definitely show with brown. Okay, unfortunately, it's a little dire. It's a little dire. Green time. Okay, that one looks good. That looks very good. And that bodes well for our aliens. Yeah, okay. That one's mixing well. Let's see the mint chocolate chip. Green. Okay. Not great. But okay. Let's try this one. One of the teals. It's moving. It's moving. Next pink. Nah. Yeah. Gray. That's a dud. Light green. Yeah, I could barely see that one there, so that doesn't really help. So here's my conflicting feelings. They're blending a little bit, and it looks okay. It looks okay, especially with more time passing by. However, it's still very, very obvious where the original mark was. Sorry for the chewing. That's Chihiro. It's very, very clear where the original mark is. And that doesn't bode well for me, because it's going to take me a while to color it in and then do the watercolors. And yeah, we're going to wait for her to stop chewing on that. It's been about 24 hours-ish. My puppy has a different treat that shouldn't make too much noise. You might hear a little bit, but it's okay. And yeah, I'm glad that we had this waiting time because I'm getting to see this again later, and it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. So we're going to give it a shot still. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up to draw the little aliens, and we're going to give it a go. I think the only one that I really don't like how it shows is the brown. It's the red a little bit, but I don't know. I think I just need to go lightly with it, not go too heavy-handed on how the initial marker is used, and that should help. That should help. But time will see. Oh, time will tell, and we will see. That is what I meant to say. So let's get to drawing those aliens. Around here is where I lost the plot, and I don't really know where I was going with the rest of this, but it's aliens. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can have like a dinosaur looking alien, and then I was like, well, what if it was like a little naturey, and then it made me think of that bell pepper Pokemon, and I was like, oh, I don't want it to look like that, which obviously with the coloring it will look like that, but I don't look like that. So then I added a bunch of heads, and then I was like, well, there's so many skinny aliens all over. What if there was like a buff alien? So then I tried the buff alien, and I was like, well, these all don't have ears, so maybe that guy should have ears. And yeah, I don't know, there's a cool alien. I use cool very lightly, and I think he's like trying too hard to be cool. I don't know. The art is in the eye of the beholder, I suppose. So whatever you guys think. And then I added myself. 1, because I'm cute and I deserve to be in things. And 2, because I would like to see if I can make myself look better with the water being used. I have an idea, and we will see. Yeah, and the background, that'll be probably just purple. So these guys will just be different shades of green, and we'll see how that works. But first, we are going to line. So let's do that. I think lining it made it really come together in a way that makes sense to me, and I really like it. I added some little stars that I'll fill in later, and again, my dad will erase it for me because he loves me. And yeah, so it's me partying with some aliens in space. It is getting late though, so we'll probably get back to this tomorrow. A lot longer than the other one, but you know what? Stayed up too late, so we gotta just keep it pushing. Guys, I hate how this looks. That's so sad. That is really sad. I hope this is a trust the process thing, and when it dries, it'll look better like how the swatches did. But I really don't have high hopes. The only fortunate thing is that it's an alien, so the texture, you know, I really hate how it looks. Like, it's blending, but not in a way I like. Like, what's going on with this spot? That spot right there. What's going on there? Why is it all light? I didn't make it light. There was dark paint there. And the way it moves, it's like a little awkward. I don't know how to describe it. You guys ever used washable markers as water paint? You put the marker down and then you use the water and color it in like that. I was hoping it would kind of work like that, but I don't know, it feels off. It feels like it doesn't want to be blend. I guess maybe that's the thing, because there's like little pockets of where I put the secondary color, and it's, I don't know. I'm gonna give this a couple minutes to dry, to fully dry, and then we'll take a look at it again, and maybe I'll like it then, just before I keep going, because if I really don't like it, I'll do like this little guy, the cool guy. I'll do the cool guy as him. I'm gonna have to switch watercolors, I guess, as like a yeah, I think I'll do that. I think actually, no, I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna color in this one, and I'm gonna do the rest with other watercolors, so you can kind of get more of a idea of what I'm talking about and what I'm expecting from the watercolors. So we'll color in this guy, and then we'll take it from there. Been about 15 minutes and it's completely dry, and I think I can safely say I do not like how this looks. I just don't. I'm sorry, I just don't. So we're gonna try some other watercolors, because maybe shot in the dark, maybe it's the paper. You know, watercolor paper is very important to the craft, very important to the medium. The more cotton it is, the better the colors will show. So it could genuinely be the paper. Maybe it's not great paper, and that would be fine. That would be fine. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see now. I'm gonna use my dad's watercolors. They're Derwent. And he uses it all the time, as you can see, very used. And there's a couple of greens in here, but there's also a different one of different greens, but we're gonna stick to the greens as requested, and we'll use that as a comparison, and maybe some other ones too. I'm not sure. I think I want to stick with these. We'll see how these show. Maybe it'll be like, no, we'll see how these show. Okay, let's try. I'm gonna say right now, it was the markers. It's definitely the markers, because I've just done this little spot right here, and it looks so much better to me. I like it so much more. It's much more uniform. I think you could see exactly what I'm talking about with the blotching and such. Still gonna finish this. I think this is gonna look cute, and then it'll be fun to color in regardless. But yeah, that one, it's definitely the markers. I will still use the markers though. Don't worry, they will not be wasted. But yeah, it's definitely the markers. So we just got this guy to color in, and then me, and then the background. I might just do this one for tonight, and then we will do the rest tomorrow. Sorry about the camera shaking. I don't have a great fancy setup, but you know, we do what we can. Yeah, and we'll get to that. Let's do, yeah, okay, I know what I'm doing. I like it. Yeah, I mean, I started coloring in the tan before I really let the brown dry, and it shows. Also a little messy in some places, but that's okay. That's how art is made, by making stuff. However, that's art, is doing it. So the markers are gonna make a cameo. They are gonna make a comeback. I'm gonna use them for the background. I think it might not look great, but it'll look different. And that I will try again to make the blending. I think it'll look better as space blending rather versus skin blending. As you can see on that alien still. I went over this one and he's still a little funky. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. So let's get those markers and start doing the background. Also, sorry if you could hear the lickety sounds. Chihiro has another treat. She has a snack. She's got some frozen stuff, and I will not be taking that away from her to do this. So cope. Okay, we're gonna try it again with a bigger water brush and see if it works. I mean, it'll work, but we'll see how it looks, I should say. All right, let's go. So here's the thing. It doesn't spread so much as it just makes the pigment less, if that makes sense. Like, if you look closely over here, you'll see the bumps. There's bumps there. And I don't know how to explain how that happened. If anyone can tell me why that's happening, I'd be happy to hear it. But what I'm not seeing is any pigment shifting so much as it's just pooling into these little bumps. Like when I okay, so here's where I'm thinking, right? If you use a brush and put it over one place that has pooled pigment and you put it somewhere else, the brush will lift some of the pigment off of where the color is pooled, and you can then place that somewhere else. But here, it doesn't do that. You see, over here, I didn't color this little spot in, which was very intentional for this test, I assure you. And I used the brush over here, and then placed it over there, and nothing. It's still completely empty. So I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, this has just turned into me using watercolor for watercolor's sake, so I can't really, I don't know. I mean, the difference is very clear between the two different kinds. I don't have the vocabulary and scientific knowledge to explain why certain stuff looks the way that it does. But still, we're gonna keep checking, do finishing touches, and then we'll circle back. Is done drying, I'm ready to give my official final review for those markers. So, out of the pack of markers, what was the most valuable item in it? Or items? These. Okay, so if you want to do watercolors and you want to have a convenient way of doing them, use these pens, okay? These brushes. They have water in them, and then you can use the tips to dip into the pen like you would with any other paint, and these, you could squeeze it and it'll self-hydrate, okay? So you get nice consistency while you're doing the watercolors. So my review and recommendation is to skip a pack like this. I mean, if there's better watercolor markers out there, let me know. I'd be willing to check them out. But as of right now, from what I've seen, just get water pens and a cute little set of colors for you to have fun with. The brand doesn't super matter. Most watercolor paints most watercolor paints are pretty good. It's mainly dependent on the paper that you have. So this is like good, decent paper. I think it's off-brand, but good amount of cotton in here. I'd love to paint on 100% cotton, but expensive. So we used a cold press mix. Okay. I do like, I tried to gussy up this painting by putting like squiggly overlines on it, you know, to really make the colors pop. And I think it did a good job of that. So I'm happy with that. I think despite the downfalls of this marker set, I still think you can make cute stuff with it. So in that sense, it's not a waste. If you were looking for something to turn out like this guy, or like how the or how the background looks, then this is great for you. And that's perfect. Okay? So it's subjective. I don't like how that looks, so this is not a good match for me. But you might. And if you do, that's great. And I will like the stuff that you make. I don't like it for my own stuff, is the difference there. But yeah, I think this was still fun to try. I don't know why it took so long for us to do, but it was still fun to try. And if you guys have any suggestions or comments or whatever, if you want to see something, let me know and I can take a look at it. I'll tell you right up, I ain't gonna mess with oil painting. If my paw got paint on it from using the gel pens, I ain't gonna bother with oil painting. We're not gonna do that. So I'm gonna avoid that unless it's oil-based markers, which I do have, and I am going to try. That's a little sneak peek. But yeah, any other type of stuff you want to see me try, go ahead and let me know. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.